Hello everyone, welcome to AI Tutorials. If you are new to this video series, please subscribe and don't forget to tap the bell icon. Then only you will get notified for each video upload. In this video, we are going to learn about how to read and write the files using pandas. In other words, how to import and export the datasheet using pandas. So when I talk about files, we have several types of files like CSV file, that is comma separated value, then text delimited files, then Excel files, JSON files, HTML, then SQL files, and so on. These are all some important data files. So we will be getting the data in one of these format. So as a basic thing, we must know how to handle this files. So in this video, we will be seeing both CSV and text delimited files. So all the materials I have prepared based on this reference URL. The same file I have uploaded to my GitHub. You can download and use it. So the first basic step, we have to import the pandas. So import pandas alias pd. For CSV file, the sample dataset I have downloaded from Kaggle. So you can download any data file as you wish, and these are all the files, and you can see the type it is Microsoft comma separated value files. Let me show you a simple example. Opening with a notepad, this is how comma separated file will look like. Every value will be separated by comma. That's why it is called as comma separated value. The first row is always considered as a column of the table and followed by each data mentioned in the rows. If I open as an Excel, it will be easy for us to visualize. First we have to import the CSV file. For that, so simple command pd dot read. So when you press tab, these are all the files we can read it: CSV, Excel, feature, HTML, JSON, SQL query, table, and so on. So for us, it's a CSV. Path of the file. Here, if you press like this, you'll get all file names. I'm going to use this particular file, COVID-19 underscore India. Just copy pasting. So this is how you have to represent it. When you execute, you can see the CSV file. Let's assign it to a variable called df so that we can implement multiple functionalities to this data frame. So this is the first way of importing the file. You have to mention the full path. So I'm just double clicking this to hide the output. But sometimes when you're working with the Windows, you may get the error while mentioning like this. At that time, what you have to do is, I'm just copy pasting the same code. Before this particular path, just mention small r. Either you can mention single quote or double quote. That's also not an issue. So just mention r before this path, then it will work. So I'm executing it. So it is working fine. When we start as a beginner, these are all the errors we will come across. Then in addition to this same code, what you can do is, here single slash is mentioned, right? Even double slash also we can mention it. This will also work properly. See, it is reading the data sheet. One more way we can mention is, for example, if your data sheet is available in your Active Directory, then you no need to mention the full path. At that time, you can directly mention the file name. See, now also it is working. So 4 ways we can use it. One is single slash, another one is double backward slash. Then sometimes if it is not working, just mention letter R in front of the path. The fourth type is, suppose if our data sheet is available in the Active Directory, you can directly mention the file name. Then for the Mac and the Linux user, you have to use just /. Hope you got a clear idea how to import the CSV file. Now the CSV file is imported and it is saved to a variable df. So with this df we can do few functionalities. Df dot head. So when you run head, it will display by default top 5 rows. In the left side, it's an index value assigned by the data frame. In the top, this is a column names. So totally 5 rows it will display as a default value. For example, I want to view 10 rows means you have to mention 10 as an argument. So when you run it, it will display 10 rows. So this will display top rows of the data frame. Same way, data frame dot tail. So when you run this, from the bottom it will display 5 rows as a default value. So totally 3891 rows are available with 9 columns. So now when you mention just tail, it will display 5 rows from the bottom. Same way, I want to view 9 rows from the bottom means I can mention that value as a parameter. So mention an integer. See, from the bottom 9 values it will display. Then if you want to know the type, so when you run, the data type of this data frame is pandas.code.frame.data frame. You have to get like this, and it is always a good practice before starting any task in pandas. You check the data type so that you can avoid big mistakes. In order to import the data, we are using the read CSV file. When we talk about read CSV file, just we mentioned the path. So in addition to the path, we have so many arguments which will be very useful. Let me teach some important arguments. To explain the read CSV functionality, I am going to use age group dataset. So let's create data frame pd dot read underscore CSV, then mention the file name. So df, if I run it, our data looks like this, very cleaned data table. But in real time scenario, we will not be getting data set like this. There will be some data set without value. We may not get a proper column names, and we will have some comments and unwanted text will be available. Like that, so many scenarios we will come across. Just to explain those scenario, I have modified this data. You can see the CSV file here. I just removed the column name, then included some comments, and there are some values which is not available, like in 7th row, in 3rd row, and some values are mentioned as NA. So this is how the real data look like. We have to clean this, which can be easily done with the help of pandas. So the file name is age group details underscore no header. So when I run it, now you see, since there is no header, it took first row as a header, which is totally wrong, and some comments are mentioned end of the document, thanks for downloading. So due to this, other column values are filled with NaN, and in case if values are not present, it will automatically fill with NaN. Now we have to change this data set like this, that is above data set. How to do that? We'll see it one by one. So I'm going to reuse the same code again and again. First scenario, removing the header. For that, header equal to none. So when you mention like this and execute, the first row is not considered as a header. Since there is no column names, it automatically assigns the index value. So the first column starts with 0 index, then 1, 2, 3 and so on. Same way in the row wise, it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 till 11. When you remove the header, automatically the indexing will happen. Now I want to rename this particular column names. So the argument for that is names equal to, So you have to mention the column names as a list. It's like serial number, age group, total case, and the percentage. Let me give those value as a list. So I just gave s dot number and gave space for age group, total case, and the percentage. Now we are defining the column names. So when we execute from 0, 1, 2, 3, the column name has been changed to user defined column names, serial number, age group, total case, and a percentage. So by using the names attribute, we can able to assign the column names. Then by using header equal to none, we can remove the headers. Now, for example, in this data set we have 4 columns, so we give 4 column names. If you give 5 columns, what will happen? Or in other words, how to add the new columns, and if we add new columns, what will happen to our data set? Same code, I'm just adding state. When you execute now, it will not throw the error, it will automatically create the column in the data frame. Since we don't have any value to that particular column, so all the row values are filled with NaN. That's the advantage of pandas. Now in the 10th and 11th row we have the comments. So our requirement is not to display 10th and 11th row. I'm saying based on the index number. So it is skip rows equal to give those number as a list 11. So it means it will skip the 10th and 11th row. So when you execute again, now the data looks like a cleaned data. So the unwanted rows we can skip it. That's an important parameter. It will be useful a lot. And next very important argument is filling a particular value I want to display as NaN, or instead of this 19th October, which is totally wrong, right? I don't want this to display it. Instead of that, it should be NaN or something like that. Same code I'm using. So rather than typing it in a lengthier way, what I can do is I can enter it like this: Na underscore values equal to which value missing. Now the missing will be replaced by NaN. That's the meaning of this argument. So when you execute, see here the missing changed to NaN. I don't want this value also. So just added that value also. You can see that value has been replaced by NaN. That is not a number value. So we have cleaned our data. Now our next job is to export this CSV file. For that, df data frame dot to CSV, then mention the file name, maybe age group details underscore final. So when you execute, if you check the folder, so this is the file. So after cleaning, we have saved it to a underscore final. You can see that in the Excel also. One important thing, when you export, it will export with the index also. For example, I don't want the index numbers and column names while exporting. Then we have to add few more arguments. That is, mention index is equal to false, then header equal to false. So now I am executing again. The file would have been replaced. There is no index value and column names. This is how we have to save the final CSV file. Hope you got a very clear picture how to load the CSV file, how to perform some important features into that, then save the CSV file. The next topic is text delimited file. Nothing but every value will be separated by a delimiter. If we get our datasheet as a text file, that is .txt file, then also we can able to create the data frames from that. For that, in this example, this file I'm going to use age group details, which is in the text format, and you can see each value is separated by a tab. So we can also call this file as tab separated value. Df equal to pd dot read underscore. If it is a text file, you have to choose the read underscore table, then mention the file name. Df. See, now we can able to read the text file also just by using read table method. Sometimes if it is not working properly, at that time you have to mention the delimiter as sep, that is separator. Within this you have to mention backward slash t, means it's a tab. Both of them are same. Suppose if all the data separated by some special character like this, then within the separator you have to mention that special character, so that you will get a proper data frame. When you check the data type, initially it was a text file, now the text file is converted to a data frame. Then we can also open the CSV file using the read table method, just for knowledge or interview purpose. CSV file. Here, what is the separator? It is a comma. When you run it, then also it will work. Means each value is separated by comma and the file name is .csv, but you have to use the read table method. If you do like this, this will work properly. If you are not mentioning the separator, means I can show you the difference. I'm just removing that separator and executing, means this is how our data will look like, which is not in a good format. So make sure you're not missing this separator value. So when you come across text file or when you want to use the CSV file using read table method, then you have to use the separated argument. Mostly we'll be using the CSV file and Excel file only. Hope you got a clear picture how to import the CSV files. In addition to that, what are all important arguments we can use it, so that our data frame will be created with a well structured clean data. So all the codes and the data, I'll be uploading it to my GitHub. Just refer this particular URL. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.